The Ministry of Agriculture, Food Production, Fisheries, Cooperatives and Rural Development, through its Extension and Advisory Services Division, presents Tutorial for Peri-Urban Home Gardening. Good day, I am Bernette James. We are here to present to you tutorials from Peri-Urban Home Gardening. Why Peri-Urban? What does it mean?
By way of definition, peri-urban agriculture refers to any cultivation of crops or production of livestock in and around urban areas. That includes cities, towns, villages, and the likes. The whole idea of peri-urban agriculture is whatever green space is available, whatever open spaces are available within these urban centers, that persons will get involved in the production of food. Food for their own consumption, food for their own welfare of their homes, but also by extension, if there's an additional surplus, we could have some bartering, some trading, or even taken to our local open markets.
The idea of home gardening was born out of a program of the Extension and Advisory Services Division of the Department of Agriculture, which seeks to return St. Lucians to the idea of home gardening. With St. Lucia's current economic situation,
how much is your tomato?
$5, $10.
the escalating price of food on our supermarket shelves, and the call for St. Lucians to eat healthy foods, our people are being urged to revert to the tradition of home gardening.
It's important that we have food available for all, what we call food security. It was traditionally believed that the hunger and poverty were in rural areas, but increasingly, as the pressures mount within the urban areas, we also recognize an increased need to have food readily available in urban areas. The poverty is not stagnant, it moves, it is present with us everywhere. And so part of the program is to ensure that within urban areas we have food that is readily available for all to consume.
It is hoped that through these tutorials, a large number of St. Lucians will engage themselves in some form of gardening around their homes. No matter how small or how large the project, it is expected that the tutorials will assist in cutting down some expenses of the kitchen. The tutorial for Peri-Urban Home Gardening program will focus on a wide range of topics which will teach interested St. Lucians the techniques that are necessary to help achieve success in their gardening operations. Under our Peri-Urban Home Gardening program, we are looking at nursery preparation, how you sow your seeds, how you care for your seedling in a nursery setting. We are looking at land preparation, site selection. We are looking at how you choose what vegetable you grow, because not every vegetable or root crop or even a fruit tree is appropriate for your setting, your location. It depends on your slope, it depends on the amount of space you have available. So we are looking at these aspects to help you better plan your garden, and as well as the amount of time that one is able to spend in a garden will be determined by the size of that garden, will be determined by the amount of activity you already have within your life, because we all have a daily activity that we undertake in our life. The program will provide step-by-step instructions to guide interested home gardeners in their production and to provide new and potential gardeners with ideas. Developers of Peri-Urban Home Gardening tutorials have been working with the experts from within the agricultural sector to provide guidance to groups and individuals practicing home gardening. Apart from the basic steps in maintaining the garden, management practices such as pest and disease identification and control, as well as compost making, will be introduced.
The composting makes the nutrients available to the plant. It gives the plant the food that is required. So once the mouth of the plant, which is the roots, is in good condition, the mouth will take up the nutrients, it will feed the plants. Once the plant gets that nutrient that is required, it will be able to maintain a good health status. And the stronger the plant, the healthier the plant, the less likely that pest and disease would attack the plants. So that is the reason why you need to add compost to your soil. The other thing is, wherever possible, whatever insects you could destroy, go into that garden and destroy with your hands at the cost of using pesticides would be to your advantage.
The tutorials will also feature success stories of persons who have been consistent in their home gardening operation. Many groups and individuals have maintained home gardens for quite some time and have shown willingness to assist.
If you ask most people in St. Lucia, what work does the table do? They'll tell you he's a lawyer. It'll surprise you to know that if I walk in the office this morning and I see 10 people in there, the first thing I want to do is run back outside. That is 10 different problems, or one problem multiplied by 10. When I come here in the morning, that's why I say my prayers, In my garden, all I have is some insects of all kinds, some fungus, and I believe that there's a way to deal with that. The rest is for me and my God, man. And I don't have too many people bothering my head with all kinds of problems. So it gives me relaxation. It gives me a sense of, when I come here, even you will look and say, wow, that's a nice garden you have there. That, to me, is a satisfaction, rather than people in the office calling about 2 square feet of land, and you get a little tired of that kind of thing. So that is what it does to me. Give me a sense of achievement and a sense of satisfaction.
The program will introduce to the nation creative ways of utilizing whatever little space that is available around the home, as well as how other persons have recycled different forms of containers, boxes, pots, tires, etc. for the production of food and vegetables.
I grow most of my crop in pots, as you can see. And I would recommend that to every household in St. Lucia, simply because you can lift a pot and carry it around. You would have to understand how important that is for retired people, for example, not so strong, but they can lift the pot. You can change what's in the pot, so you do not need to have land and large expanses of land to grow what you want.
Tutorials for Peri-Urban Home Gardening is a program of the Agricultural Extension and Advisory Services Division, which seeks to encourage St. Lucians to return to the tradition of home gardening. Join us for this informative program. Until next time, I am Vernette James. We thank you for joining us.